The controversy over Mystery Booster Commander Edition. If you don't know, if you're not in the everyday today Magic news, then you might not know that they have announced a surprise set this year, an entire booster box that is the sequel to the Mystery Booster and Mystery Booster 2, and it's going to be Mystery Booster Commander, where it's meant to be drafted like Commander. So like previous Commander draftable sets, it has 20 cards per pack, and it's meant for you to draft a Commander deck. And it's cool. It looks cool. There's lots of cool singles. You should look them up. I'm not going to go over them or even show them here, but there's been cards spoiled and a lot of interesting content. Unique to Magic cards. That's another key point, is that these cards are not all reprints like Mystery Booster 2 and Mystery Booster 1 were. There's a lot of new cards, a lot of brand new commanders, a lot of brand new commanders with brand new mechanics. And so if you want to get a hold of these cards, you'll either need to get a hold of this product, Mystery Booster Commander Edition, or buy singles on the secondary market, which, you know, buying singles, whoop-de-doo, big deal. So what makes this controversial? What makes this controversial is that for the first time in Magic history, we have a sealed booster box product coming out that is more or less only available through Secret Lair and is available by either going to conventions and getting the cards and the packs and whatever from those conventions, or you can get it from Secret Lair. There are Festival in the Boxes that come out every once in a while that predate a festival, one of the Magic Fests. And so, for example, Festival in a Box Amsterdam is right there on my shelf. I was lucky enough. I got in the Secret Lair queue. In case you don't know, Secret Lair is when Wizard sells product directly to consumers, and you can get in queue an hour before the drop. The drops are usually on Monday, which, by the way, a little bit less than a week from when this video comes out, there's going to be another Secret Lair drop, not for a Festival in a Box, but for an Hatsume Miku Commander deck that is going to be very expensive unless you get it at the Secret Lair drop. So now you know. Anyways, so I got this Festival in a Box, and inside of that Festival in a Box, there is a Mystery Booster 2, which is cool and exciting and fun. Well, in the future, you're going to be able to buy Festival in a Box that's going to come with this Commander Mystery Booster. And that is all exciting and cool. The problem with that is that these things are going to be rather scarce, especially at first. The only way you can get a hold of these products, and in some ways these cards, although you can always buy them off the secondary market, is through Secret Lair, getting on the website and getting the product before the evil scalpers get them, or going to a Magic event, an in-person Magic event, which is obviously also hard and scarce. And rumor is that it's hard to get, even if you go to the Magic event, it's hard to get these boxes and get these products and participate in these events because they're so desirable. And this product's only going to make it more so because people are stoked about this. And so there is controversy and criticism about the way Wizards is doing this. They are creating this cool product with brand new cards, and they've done this before, by the way. This isn't the first time they've made brand new cards that they're selling kind of exclusively on Secret Lair, but it's the first time they're making brand new cards in a booster product that they're selling exclusively through Secret Lair. And people are excited, but people are concerned, and rightfully so, that this product is not going to be easy to get a hold of. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but the argument that I've heard on the internet from people is essentially this: I really like this product, but I don't know if it's going to be worth the money. And that is a completely fair thing to say if you're a normal person. If you're an economist, it doesn't make any sense, because if I say I like something or I want something, that's the equivalent of saying I'm willing to spend money on it. So if I, in a sentence, say, I like this, want this, but it's too expensive for me. That's the same thing as saying, I like this a little bit. And it's like, okay, if you like it a little bit, it doesn't sound like you want it, right? And I know this is going to sound like this is not what the people want to hear. You know, it's like, get in the comment section and be like, you heartless person, you have no concept of how finances actually work, because we are working people and we have budgets and we just can't afford $400 booster boxes. I know. We couldn't afford $400 booster boxes when Modern Horizons 3 came out with their collector booster, and we couldn't afford $400 booster boxes when Commander Masters came out with their set booster boxes, and we couldn't afford $400 booster boxes when Double Masters 2022 came out. And like, this isn't new, this concept of booster boxes being expensive and outpricing people. But I'm just telling you, the reality is that the people who wanted Double Masters 2022 and wanted Modern Horizons 3 and want every collector box that comes out these days, and that are going to want Festival in a Box Commander Edition, are going to pay for it. They're going to pay money. And people who don't want it are not going to pay for it. They're not going to pay money. And so it's just really interesting to me when people say, I love this. This is really cool. But the price point is what's getting to me. First off, what's interesting about that is that there isn't a price point yet. This is all like, we don't know. We don't know if this is going to be $300-$400 box. I mean, we kind of know that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is going to be a cheap box. It could be. We just don't know. They haven't announced exactly all the ways that they'll get this into the hands of people. We'll see. But that's one interesting thing about this thought process. But then it's just feels like a mistake to approach any Magic product and say like, oh, I love this, but it's too expensive. I think The Hobbit's too expensive. The Hobbit, $900 for a collector booster box, I would never pay that. Not to open one. Maybe to speculate, but not to open one. I thought Commander Masters for $300 a draft box was too expensive, and I didn't buy it. At that price, at that time, I didn't buy it. And now I could say like, oh, I wish that we lived in an alternate universe where Commander Masters was only $150 a draft box, and I would buy it. And to that I'd say, yeah. But I guess this is the weird thing to me. This is where the rubber hits the road, is that I do spend $300 on Magic. I do spend $400 on Magic. I spend lots of money on Magic. And I don't bat an eye. You know, I was building a Mothman deck, and I just wanted my land base to be decent. So, decent. It's pretty good. So I bought one of each Surveil land, the 3 Surveil lands that make sense in a tricolor deck, the 3 fetch lands, the 3 shock lands, and altogether that was hundreds of dollars. And I bought other cards too, but that is to say is that I spent hundreds upon thousands of dollars on Magic, actually. And so when I say like, ooh, that's too much for me, no, it's not. No, it's not. I can afford it. I could, like, if I actually wanted a Hobbit collector booster box, I could sell one of my pricier commander decks and buy one. And and that's probably a reality for you too. It might sound stupid, but like, if you really wanted it, if you really wanted a $900 Hobbit collector booster box, first off, please don't do that. But if you did, you could make it happen. You could make it happen. You'd have to sacrifice things to make it happen. I would have to sacrifice things to make it happen, but you could make it happen. But you don't want that. I don't want that. And that's okay. That is totally okay. And then people get in conversations about like, well, you can just proxy the cards and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Or you could just not play with them. Like, that's what there's products and sets and cards that I skip out on because I'm just don't want to pay for it. Ristic Study's OP. Don't play with it. It ruins the fun. If Ristic Study was $2, I'd put it in every deck. But price is actually like an incredible way for me to kind of control my deck building. It adds for creativity and fun. And so am I in the corner of like, all high prices are a good thing? No, but prices are a thing. That's my corner. Prices are a thing. They help us determine what we want. And if we don't want something, then that's just a reflection of how we feel about the price, right? If a card is free, if Ristic Study was free, everyone would want infinite. That's the idea. Anyways, if you have free disposal and something's free, the assumption as an economist is more is better, which that assumption obviously isn't always true, but just bear with me. It's because of the price that you don't want infinite of everything. It's because you have to make sacrifices to get stuff. And that's good. It helps us prioritize and treat what's actually important in life. And guess what? The most important thing in your life shouldn't be magic. It's up there for me, but it's not magic. Not the most important thing in my life by any means. Obviously, before that comes like my morals and virtues are I like to believe are my highest priority. Then there's, you're like rolling your eyes. You're like, how does a scalper have morals and virtues? Touche. And then my family and my ability to provide for my family are all much higher priorities than magic. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things I'm not willing to sacrifice. And guess what? When the scalpers come and you roll your dice for the Commander Festival in a box and I lose, and none of the like 2 devices I'm using to try to buy it are able to get myself in line, then whoop-de-doo, I'm not going to get it. And guess what? Am I going to buy it? No, I'm not. And am I going to play with my friends? Probably not, unless they buy it or get lucky and get it. And life goes on. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't complain. We should complain. Complaining is a powerful thing. Wizards listens to the complainers because they address the complainers. Mark Rosewater every once in a while makes a statement where he's basically like, complainers complain about something, but it's not actually an issue, right? He said that with Marvel Spider-Man. He's like, Spider-Man's one of the best-selling sets. And the whole like, most Magic players don't know what a Planeswalker is. And Universes Beyond, I think, was a recent thing where he's like 7% of Magic players refuse to play with Universes Beyond or something like that. The complaining, we know the complaining works because Wizards feels the need to address it. If the complaining didn't work, Wizards would never address it. And so, yeah, prices are too high. We should make our opinion known about that's a problem. But to say something like, I really want this product, but it's just too expensive, it gives me pause because you're signaling that you don't want that product. And also the reality is the reason it's expensive is because 2 things. 1, Wizards has a monopoly on all Magic and are incentivized to lower supply to artificially raise prices. That's the big one. But 2, because people actually want it. If a product is expensive, it is because people actually want it to some degree. You ask any like small trading card game if you can make limited products and they'll always sell and be successful. The answer is no. You have no idea how many serialized, rare, limited edition products have not sold out, right? In Magic, they sell out because people want them. But for some indie game that comes out, we're making 100, only 100 of these special cards. Quickly get them, come buy them, only $5. And nobody buys them because they're not interesting, they're not special, they're not wanted. And so, it's like that scene in The Simpsons where Homer is at the bar, right? And the bartender's just getting all of these orders, a hand over fist. Everyone's trying to like buy a drink or whatever. And Homer's like, well, you lost a customer. And the bartender can't hear Homer over the sound of all the crowd. He's like, what'd you say? And he's like, you lost a customer. But there's so many people that are just trying to give their money and pay and stuff like that. That's how us YouTubers, Magic YouTubers sound a lot of the time, right? We're like, stuff's too expensive. Meanwhile, Hobbit boxes, not thanks to Wizards. Wizards isn't raking in the dough from the Hobbit. I mean, they are, but the $900 booster boxes that are selling, that is not that margin is not going back to Wizards. It's just a reality that Magic is desirable, that the player base is growing, and that Wizards is able to raise prices and it still will sell out. And there's tons of people that want it. On a side note, and a more like less condescending and more hopeful note, I think the singles, they'll start expensive. These Commander Festival in a Box Commander singles will start expensive, but they will go down. They will go down. They'll absolutely be cheap. A lot of these cards that you get excited about, everyone's excited about, the prices will be hyped at first, but the prices will come down, just like they did for Mystery Booster 2 and just like they did for Mystery Booster 1. So there's definitely hope. There's lots of budget ways to enjoy Magic. You do not need to buy Hobbit collector booster boxes for $900, but if you actually wanted them, you would, and that's the point. So thanks for watching. Let me know how you disagree or you agree. And thanks for listening to me rant about something that I feel passionately about. Peace.